Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my reflective assignment for NBH5D, Managing Organizational Behavior. My name is Nurul Afiqah, and today I will connect 5 key of organizational behavior topic to my personal and professional life, particularly my role as a senior sales executive. What is organizational behavior? My understanding is simple. Organizational behavior, OB, is the field that studies how the individuals, groups, and structure impact behavior in a workplace. It helps us predict and explain why people, including ourselves, behave the way we do in a team. So for me, OB is a practical framework that moves my decision from intuition to science-based analysis. Now, we're moving to topic 2. I applied this organizational behavior to a time my attitude shift regarding my job. Our attitude is how we feel about things, and job satisfaction is our overall attitude toward our works. So, in my role as a sales executive here, I initially had a highly positive attitude, motivated by the high commission and also for the professional challenge. However, nowadays my satisfaction dropped significantly. This was due to the excessive, repetitively admin tasks that keep me away from high value client engagement. So, this relates directly to the job characteristic model. The low task variety and limited autonomy in managing my schedule make the work feel less meaningful and reduce my sense of achievement. So this dissatisfaction creates a lot of internal stress for me. This is the conflict between my belief, which I wanted to be a high value executive, and my behavior, which I'm stuck doing a low value admin with that mindset. To solve this, I initially tried to take a step to change my perception and behavior. First, I reframed the boring admin as crucial data management, necessary for a superior client tracking. So this changed my attitude about the task significance. Now, second, I create my own challenge target for client retention, giving myself a sense of the autonomy. So this active effort, it reduced my stress and also lead to an increased organization's behavior, showing how I manage my attitude made me more committed and effective employee. For my personality, I look at the Big 5 model. I score high on reliability. This means I consistently prioritize planning and dependability. For instance, I always create a detailed, systematic schedule for my client and also for the assignment, ensuring I meet all deadlines without fails. I also score moderate on extraversion. I enjoy teamwork and client interaction, but I also need a time alone to process complex sales strategies effectively. As for my values are my foundation belief that the guiding principle for my life. My top 3 are the achievement, the integrity, and also a fairness. These values critically affect my organizational behavior. My strong integrity, for example, means I will struggle in an organization with poor ethical standard, highlighting the importance of person's organizational fit. Now moving on to topic 4, perceptions and decision making. For me, or our perception, how we interpret the world is subjective, and these often lead to a mental shortcut or bias when we make quick decisions. So I reflect on a time when I had to decide which client presentation deserved my immediate focus under a tight deadline. The bias I used was the anchoring bias. I focused solely on the first sales figure that appeared in my initial email. That number became my mental anchor, and I ignored all of other emails later with more complex data. These biased perceptions caused me to mislocate my valuable time, resulting in me prioritizing a lower value client first and delaying strategic preparation for the truly high value account. This faulty perception lead to a flawed individual decision-making process. So to fix this, I learned to overcome my bias by applying the rational decision-making model. I stopped relying on my initial anchor, perceptions, and instead force myself to follow a structured approach. First, I define the criteria objectively. I listen the potential value, strategic important, and likelihood of closing for each client. Second step, I gather all objective data, ensuring I had the final comprehensive sales report before making a final choice on the resource allocations. So this ensures my decision as a senior sales executive are based on facts and complete information only, rather than the biased one. Now for the final topic, motivation. Motivation is the force that determines the intensity, directions, and persistence of effort toward achieving a goal. So I find my personal drive is best explained by the goal setting theory, SMART goal setting. I am motivated not just by reward like commission, but by the challenge of target themselves. So this theory worked directly in my role. So firstly, for the intensity and for the direction, my motivation is high because I set a specific and difficult goals such as achieving, for example, a 50% increase in a new market segment. Or I also make sure that this clearly direct my energy and effort. For persistence, the clarity of the goals combined with the consistent self-feedback, which I tracking my progress, keep me focused and also persistent, allowing me to overcome the setback. So ensuring my personal target are SMART specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound is my practical applications of motivation theory in my sales career. In conclusion, this assignment has demonstrated that organizational behavior is not just a theory, it is a practical toolkit for effective management and personal success. We have the improved self-awareness, which I really related to understand my reliability and my values, which allowed me to choose career path where I will thrive. And also for the better decision making, knowing my perceptual bias and applying the rational decision making models help me to avoid costly or constant mistake in the sales planning. And last but not least, the effective staff management. By understanding and also applying goal setting theory, I can proactively manage my motivation and satisfaction. This concept gives me a strong foundation to transit uh, from being a good senior sales executive to a systematic and highly effective leader in the future, inshallah. Thank you.